guys, welcome to another edition of Draw It With Me. When you tell people you're an artist, you're almost guaranteed to hear a certain cliched and painfully overused phrase. Come on, say it with me. I can't even draw a stick figure. If I had a quarter for every time someone said that to me. Anyway, despite the cliche, truth is, you can probably draw a stick figure just fine. As an artist, it's actually an important skill to have. And for you non-artists, I'm going to show you how to draw a stick figure, so you can stop saying it. Please. So, the basic human form from the imagination. Let's do it. We'll begin in a very simple way. Start with a rectangular oval for the rib cage. Then to create the hips and pelvis bone, simply draw a line and two narrow ovals like so. Then a line for the neck, an oval for the head, the legs, and the arms. This is the skeleton in its simplest form, nearly as easy as a stick figure. Am I right? Draw the scapula, this triangular bone at either shoulder to which the arms are attached, and then the arms. This is a good foundation upon which to build the figure, much like a wire framework underneath the clay of a figurative sculpture, or a very simple skeleton to model on. In the same way, you can draw the body's structure and profile. The technique is much the same as before. You start with an oval for the rib cage, an oval below the ribs for the pelvis, and another above it for the head. Then the arms and the legs. And a short, elongated triangle for the foot. The bend of the elbow is about level with where the ribs end. Now let's try a rear three-quarter view in a similar technique. This will be a view from behind. Draw the rib cage with a slight half-circle bend at its base, and find the center line of the figure. You can add a small rounded triangular shape for the jaw. These simple sketches shouldn't take you more than just a few minutes. The legs have a natural bend in them that's quite graceful, curving back then forward in the feet. The femur or upper leg bone is slightly longer than the tibia, or lower leg bone. We'll bend one of the knees here and add the arms. It's good to practice a lot of these types of sketches in varied poses. After a brief intermission, I'll show you how to add flesh and form to these figures, so stay with me. Many people believe the figure should be between 7 and 8 heads tall, like Da Vinci's Universal Man. But the truth is, people come in all shapes and sizes. You have short, stocky people with giant heads, you have tall, skinny people with tiny heads, and everything in between. That's part of the joy in working from life, is finding the unique proportions in any given sitter or model. Before the skeleton, you can add mood or gesture lines, presenting more initial movement, energy, or feeling. They help create a looser drawing that's less stiff. You can then draw the skeleton on top of the mood or gesture lines. Let's try a figure in a pose slightly contrapposto, where the angle of the shoulders and the angle of the hips aren't exactly parallel. Now let's do a more strained dynamic pose, something you might see out of a comic book. Perhaps bent forward slightly, lower to the ground, with legs bent outward. For the legs, we have the femur and tibia, arms flexed, the humerus or upper arm, and radius or lower arm. This is all fine and good, but you're probably wondering how to turn these simple skeletons into something more. So let's flesh out a couple of these poses. I'll try to keep it simple. This is, after all, the basic human form video. We'll make this skeleton on the left a female, and the one on the right, male. Having a skeleton makes drawing the person much easier. This is where a basic knowledge of human anatomy comes into play. You have to understand the body's basic shapes. There are a lot of schools of thought on gesture versus contour, line versus shape, form versus line, or chiaroscuro, meaning light and dark. The important thing is to try out a bunch of different techniques and find out what works best for you. In art, there isn't just one road, no hard and fast rule everyone must follow. But educate yourself on anatomy, musculature, and skeletal structure. Learn all you can and never stop. Most importantly, practice. We'll make our male a bit more muscular. He's been drinking a few more protein shakes than the girl on the left. Once the basic form is drawn in, you can erase the underlying skeleton, but for our purposes here, you get the idea. This is a good starting point for you to learn the basic human form. In future videos, we'll analyze some other techniques and take it much further, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks for drawing it with me. Until next time, keep practicing.